STP and the marketing mix, an introduction to marketing. You can see that when we talk about marketing, we have what is called the STP, or the segmentation, target, and positioning. And then below that, we have what's called the marketing mix, which is product, price, place or distribution, and promotion. The 5 elements work together whenever we put together a marketing plan. We can see that when we talk about STP, we have segmentation, targeting, and positioning. And segmentation means we consider geographic, demographic, psychographic, benefits, and behavioral when we look at the segment. Targeting, we look at differentiated, undifferentiated, concentrated, or micro-marketing. And positioning is our value proposition, our salient attributes, symbols, and competition. Really what we're saying here is that we're trying to find a market, or customers, if you will, that are being underserved or not being served, and we are going to try to develop our customer segmentation using these 3 areas, and then we're going to apply the marketing mix to them with our product, price, place, and promotion. When we look at the marketing mix, we are simply talking about what product, what price, where, and place and distribution, and how we're going to inform the customer. So when we look at a product, products can be tangible, or they can be services which are intangible. And product also considers branding and packaging. So a brand is considered part of the product because the brand, when you think of that, it tells you what the product is and basically gives you a feel for what that product is. Pricing, when we look at pricing, we look at competition, our costs, what our company objectives are, who the customers are, and channel members. So we decide price on those 5 areas. Place and distribution, we typically consider that our location or internet. So at one time there was very little internet, if you will, distribution, none as a matter of fact. So everything was location based. So you had to have a location that was either high traffic for retail, or you needed to have a distribution center that was close to your markets, those type of things. But the internet has basically changed that to where we can still have retail without having specific location, if you will, for the customers to go visit. Promotion deals with integrated marketing communications, and that just simply means that I'm going to give the same consistent message over any medium I use, whether it's going to be TV, radio, newspaper, personal selling, telephone, inbound, outbound, telemarketing, etc. It also includes advertising, public relations, sales promotion. And we talk about sales promotion, this would be like couponing or making an offer for somebody to buy something now as opposed to putting it off. And usually we'll do that with either giving additional items or we'll cut the price, couponing, that type of thing. And then personal selling. On personal selling, we use that as a promotional tool. And typically, personal selling is only used with products that are either technically difficult for customers to understand, or they're extremely expensive. So let's take a look at our fast food restaurant. The marketing mix and the STP is going to be different for a fast food restaurant than the luxury car market that we're going to look at in a minute. So when we think of the marketing mix, we think of the product being a limited menu, fast service. There should be a brand name so people understand what it is. And it's usually perceived as low quality or unhealthy. The price is going to be inexpensive and it's going to rely on volume. The place and distribution needs to be in a high traffic location and have an ease of entry and exit. Promotion, you're typically going to use reminder advertising. By the time you've developed a brand name, people understand what you stand for. And then you're going to use sales promotion also. You'll use that to try to drive sales during low periods, or just in general try to keep your customer counts up or fight against the competition. And then your STP, or your segmentation, target, and positioning, is going to be, you're going to be fairly undifferentiated, you're going to be convenient, and you're going to try to offer good value for your customers. We take a look at the luxury automobile. We're going to have a narrow product line. So this car that we're going to be selling is going to be one or two, maybe three models that are going to be promoted as very luxurious. The brand name is going to have high status, and it's going to be perceived as very high quality. The price is going to be expensive. The place and distribution, you're not necessarily looking for a high traffic volume area, but you are looking for an exclusive location. More than likely geographic. You're going to be looking for areas that have a very high income demographic. Your promotion is going to be very heavy on advertising, which is going to be probably magazines for upscale. It's going to be certain television shows, and there's going to be personal sales involved. And this means that you're going to spend money on people that have a good understanding of the product, that are going to be able to close the deal with somebody whenever they're buying that expensive of an item. And your segmentation, target, and positioning is you're going to try to find very wealthy people, typically professional, and they're going to view themselves as elite. They want to think that I'm going to buy this luxury automobile because very few people can, and those that do are very successful. And so that becomes part of how you set this up. So you can see that the STP and the marketing mix are quite different for a fast food restaurant as opposed to a luxury automobile. So the one thing I want you to take away from this class this semester is that this is what you're looking for. I first want to really have a good determination of what my segment, target, and position is going to be. At that particular point, I can design my products, I can price them accordingly, I can figure out where my place or distribution needs to be, and how I need to promote them. And in many cases, and almost all cases, depending on what I'm trying to do and who I'm trying to target, I may put a lot of emphasis on one or two pieces of the marketing mix and none or very little on the others. Generally, we cannot be expert and spend money on everything. For instance, I can't have the highest quality products at the lowest price and make sure that I promote them heavily. One of the reasons that you have a very high price on several products is because you're promoting them heavily to get people to look at them, to have a good feel for your brand, to think that they are elite, that there's some type of differentiation in that. So again, a little bit of an overview. Everything we go through this semester, we will talk about how each one of the pieces of the marketing mix relates to the segment, target, and positioning, and vice versa. Whenever we talk about segment, targeting, and positioning, then that will automatically tell us what we have to look at our marketing mix to reach that particular customer.